To everybody.
Is it okay if I
Yeah,
record?
that's fine. I like to remind everybody at the utility that whenever we put an hour of service out, it means we have to have at least one person driving that bus. Whereas you could have a three-man crew out there digging ditches or working on electric line and still safely do the work. They just do it a little bit slower with two people. But for every hour of service we put out, it means we have to have one person doing the work. And that is a daunting task when you have global pandemics and labor shortages. So I like to point that out. We currently have 730 bus stops after this weekend. The consolidation of some of the routes, we're going to have somewhere around 700 at that point. And then we're working through some consolidation of some shelters and moving some of those things. So a little bit about our staff. We have currently, today we have 49 bus operators and we're hiring number 50. 50 full-time bus operators be what it would take to operate our system beginning Sunday. And then we always have people sick. We always have people injured. So we're always offering overtime to our drivers. But they do a great job for us. The person in the picture is Tony Didia. If you see Tony, he looks a little different today. He's put his health as a top priority for him, and he's slimmed down a little bit. But if you see him, he's our running driver of the year. So give him a attaboy for that. All in all, we have about 60 employees in the transit department utility. I'm the director of transit. I'm the one embedded in the department that answers to the vice president. Our fixed route service, most of this is going to stay roughly the same, few minor changes, and one major change for sure. We're going to run 18 buses at peak. That's an important number. That was our goal all along. 18 buses at peak is the number that establishes the number of buses that we can own according to the federal government. Beginning Sunday, our weekday service will run from 6 a.m. till 10 p.m. Currently, it runs until 11 p.m. Our ridership in that 10 o'clock hour is so low. We're recovering that to put those available service hours somewhere else. And then on Sunday, our ridership was also extremely low, and we're going to change our hours of service on Sunday from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. And then there are going to be 10 weekday routes, 8 of those serving the transit center. 2 of them are going to be other loop routes. There's one on the north side, one on the south side. Those used to be 2 on the north and 2 on the south, but they've been combined to have into one route. And hopefully we'll have the ridership of the 2 routes combined into those so we can continue to utilize those services. The 10 routes the 8 routes that serve the transit center are going to run from 6 a.m. until 10 p.m. now. We're not going to change over to night service. So we're not going to switch down to 4 buses after 6 p.m. We're going to stay on all 8 of those routes. We're going to move from 30-minute service on all 8 routes at 6 p.m. to hourly service at 6 p.m. So everything that's going out at 6 a.m. is going to be going out at 6 p.m. It'll just be switching to hourly service, and all those will be going to trains. Also, City Council approved our fare decrease. Generically speaking, it's a 20% decrease in fares. We were challenged by both City Council and Board of Public Utilities to take what was already deemed a very affordable service by our consultants and make it even more affordable. And so we were pleased when everybody agreed that a 20% decrease across the board would be an appropriate level. What that does is it changes our one ride fare from $1.25 down to $1. So it should be easier to just have that dollar ready. And it's going to change I get a lot of boo kind of feedback on this one, but we're changing the transfer from 10 cents to 25 cents. And the reason is because that cost of that card is quickly approaching a dime, and we know it within a couple of years it's going to be more than a dime. We already are subsidized. We'd be even more heavily subsidized on that transfer. So we're going to change the cost of that transfer to 25 cents. Yes. You know, I just put in there this morning the slides for fair. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that in just a little bit, but I don't have all of that committed to memory. We also run a complimentary paratransit service. Please don't understand that to mean that it's free. It means it complements, like my wife complements my weaknesses, which means she's a lot better person than I am. Paratransit service complements the fixed route system. It has an eligibility qualification process. You apply to it, you get a medical professional to sign off on that, and you go through a process to be approved for that. We have 6 cutaway buses, and we have, not on here, we have 2 minivans. We're still working on getting those minivans up and running. As the new technology comes online, we should be able to start utilizing those pretty soon. It's a complement to the fixed route system, so it'll also run on weekdays from 6 a.m. till 10 p.m. and it'll run on Sundays from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. It is limited to 3/4 of a mile buffer of the fixed route system or the city limits, whichever is greater. And the fare on that is dropping from $2.50 to $2. So also we talk a little bit when I'm giving a presentation about who rides transit. This information is 12 years old, but it's actually, in our last study, they said it's still very relevant. 22% of the people that ride the bus are under 25 years old, 6% are over 65. Greater than 60% earn less than $15,000 a year. 37% of people are traveling to and from work. 72% don't drive or don't have a car available. And 68% of our ridership rides the bus every day. That means approximately 2,500 to 3,000 unique individuals divided by, or 2,500 divided by 2, a ride to and from. So about 1,200 to 1,500 unique individuals are riding the bus. Who pays for transit? This is a year old. This is going to change here real soon, but the federal government is about 20% of our revenue or funding. Passengers pay 8%. We're recovering about 8% of the cost to operate the system from those that are paying fares. The state government is now kicking in 3%. We celebrate that because 2 years ago it didn't even register as 1%. And our advertising budget is bringing back, or the advertising on the buses and on the shelters and benches is bringing back 1%. But the large portion of the service is being covered or paid for by city utilities customers from the electric, gas, water, and telecommunications areas. So our maps. This is a screenshot of the new map. You're familiar with the maps mostly. You can see there are 2 maps. There's a Sunday map, Sunday holiday map, and then there's a Monday through Saturday map. So those are pictured. We also have the fares listed on the map, and we have schedules listed out on the map. Additionally, let me say here, and we'll cover a couple of other compliance things down the slideshow, but we also provide, so this is what you have been provided is a smaller version of the same map. We're going to print the large folded map and have it available upon request. And then currently on our website, we have a turn by turn, which is what the drivers use for training on utilizing the routes. And I worked with Dewey on that, and we made sure, so the drivers use left, right, and we actually posted it as cardinal directions for at Dewey's request, so that you can reference and actually had some great questions. We found a couple of mistakes in there because of that. But we've got that out there on our website under the Connect SGF changes on cutransit.net. And then also as soon as we get final proofing on that, we're going to get that document brailled and it'll be made available as well. And then the one thing that is not going to be on that small map going forward is going to be tips for riding the bus. We think people are liking this small map and they don't need all the tips anymore. So that larger folded map will be on request only, but this smaller map will be available on the bus. We also have our route cards updated. Our route cards list schedules, they list time points, and they also list connection points. And those connection points are color coded, which the last time I was here, I learned, they don't work very well for somebody who's colorblind. But anyway, I don't have much to say about this. This is something that we are not required to provide, and we printed it in color so that people that were struggling with the ability to read, or they couldn't read or even tell numbers apart so well, they could tell the colors. And that was working well for us. So
Yeah, it's
I'm sorry to the individual that was colorblind that day.
There's not enough space to really list the route number next to that. Otherwise, you might look into a way to do that
On the route card,
as an alternative for those flows.
I don't think I understand the comment, Carol.
Well, I'm having trouble reading right up to it.
If they're having trouble with the transfer point indicator.
Oh, yeah, the connection point.
Is there a route number with the colored circle?
And the color-
You know, I would say it may be possible we could look at that in future iterations. It was difficult 8 years ago when we set these up because there just wasn't enough space. We couldn't make that pie looking thing quite big enough. That's why we put the colors there. Yeah. All right, so here's our fares. It's relatively small. This is on our new under the banner on our website, ctransit.net. It's under the banner there. It says Connect SGF. So single ride fare goes from $1.25 down to $1. Transfers go up to 25 cents. And an all-day pass is for an adult is $3. 7-day pass is $10. 31-day pass is $36. Elderly and disabled passes are single rides for 50 cents. Daily passes for $1.50. 7-day for $5 and 31 days for $18. Use are 75 cents for a single ride. Daily for $2. 7-day for $7 and 31 day for $22. And then, as we say, the paratransit compliments is twice the cost of the fixed route, which is $2 for a single ride. All right. Passes, we offer passes and ticket books. We also offer, I say this every time, and I was working on this earlier today, and I didn't go ask, but I need to find out. There are certain things you can buy and cannot buy at the fare box. You can buy an all-day pass.
You can can't buy any ticket books.
Right, no ticket books on the bus.
Nobody charging you smart.
Not on the bus yet, but hopefully the spring. Right. So daily passes at the fare box. But you can buy period passes, daily, 7-day, 31-day passes at the ticket vending machine. You can buy any of the passes at the ticket window at the transit center. And then we have a few outlets, but Token Transit is taking a large portion of the sales for us as well. And then you get the transfer at the fare box when you step on the bus, and you pay 25 cents for that. Yes, sir.
Not being able to ride, we've never rode a bus, but other than that, grew up in St. Louis, up the metro station. The cousin used to have a job downtown there, so she would always have to have like a card or pass, so she could always get back and forth from her work down from there to back where she used to live. So I don't really understand this, so what do we do about that thing?
So here you can do a couple of different things. You could currently, the way the system works currently, you can get on, when you get on the bus, pay $1 and get where you're going. If you have to transfer when you get to the transit center, when you get on the first bus, you pay $1.25, and that fare box will give you a ticket, and that ticket, it's this one right here. It says insert slot. It prints on the backside of it and says transfer. When you get to the second bus, you put that in the fare box. The bus operator will help you with that. You would put that in the fare box.
My job is on the way from where I live, so.
Okay, but when you get to the second bus, if you have to make that transfer, you put that there. You could also buy a daily pass, which would be $3 beginning Tuesday. And then you just ride the bus as many times as you like. Or you could you buy a 7-day or 31-day pass and just use that for a week or a month. But one pass would get you by for a period. All right, riding the bus stops. They have a tombstone shaped bus stop sign. It's not because, oh, I heard you laugh. That's
Yeah.
so there is a reason in,
I call it a bell.
you call it a bell.
That's what it looks like.
Okay. So the technical term for the shape is tombstone.
Yeah.
And it has that classic shape. And the reason this was chosen was in court, I believe it was in conjunction or collaboration with the Missouri, was it Blind Rehab? Ben Bersley-Owens group.
Rehab services for blind.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea was when placed at a correct height, which we don't control the placement of these things, just as an FYI, when placed at the correct height, if you showed up at a bus stop, and this is before we were publishing our feed so that you could find bus stops using that app. You could use a white cane to feel the shape of the sign and know that you didn't have a square on top. So that is actually, the design was for compliance or to help.
20 years ago, when I came here, our bus stop signs could be confused from the parking controls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back, I think it was. I don't remember where, but.
To blue,
There's a few blue left, and there's
Yeah.
a few of the really old ones with, let's say, that look like a bus, but have no parking, and I'm saying, unless you look close. I don't remember where I saw the old one. But
yeah, so if you find the old ones that are squared off, let me know. The blue ones, we just put back out because we were running out of the reflective white ones for the changeover in stops. Yeah.
I thought somebody protested.
No.
Why were they, and
No.
you guys went back to.
No. We're not doing that. We're recovering the current ones and getting those out for the new stops. The city has told us they think they've got all the new stops placed for us. And so now we have to go through an effort, which will start, honestly, it won't start until Monday, to find out what stops aren't actually out there. We just developed a plan for that this morning.
one stop you might want to look at is they'll stop on the side of Walmart on Grand and show that it's only going to be a Sunday and holiday stops. It looks like the rest of the week it's not going to be served.
On Grand on,
The Walmart neighborhood market on Grand, right before you, 9 goes by now, before you.
Brandon Market is the stop.
But it looks like since 9's going up,
France.
it's nothing's gonna go flying by there except during on Sunday.
yeah, we'll double check that. We've got a lot of things happening down there right now with the Grant Avenue Parkway construction. So that one will be checked out. We're actually talking this morning about a way to involve our bus operators a little bit more on making sure once we get the changes made, going back and make sure we got them all correct. And
You can go still a sign down from there. You got 2 stops by that Walmart. That one that's on the side of Walmart, one's right at Grand and one's further up. You can still run the sign if you need it.
we've already recovered all the signs we need. We're in the process of putting stickers up, then we're gonna go recover signs. Then we're going to start putting up tube maps and shelter maps. So, and it can't all be done at one time. Although we did get the green light yesterday to start re-stickering. So the line 12 and 5 that overlapped each other we've already re-stickered them. And we were making really great headway, and then a couple things happened in people's personal lives today, so we can't be out there doing that right now, so, hey, we have life happening to us too, and so I'll just make our staff a little bit human to you as well. But we'll get it done. We were gonna try to get as much done today as we could because the rain is coming.
Mhm.
It's coming.
And also, we learned a little trick a couple of our supervisors figured out. So you might see a bus out. I'll just go ahead and tell you, you might see or hear that a bus is out somewhere where it shouldn't be in the next few days. We figured out that to get old bus stop signs down, the safest way to do it is to do it with a bus.
Oh, really?
We have. It's big. We can throw flashers on. We can quickly step out with the step stool, grab an impact driver, take the sign down, and move on our way. We can do that in about 30 seconds. If we do it in a vehicle, it's going to take us about 5 or 6 minutes. So anyway, you may see a bus out there doing something that you don't expect it to do. But when I heard that, I was like, that is genius. Why didn't I think of that? So here's the thing. I don't have to have all the good ideas. I do get blamed for all the bad things, but I don't have to get the credit for all the good things, okay? So at a bus stop, we ask you to stand near the bus stop. So to the one about Republic Road and Fremont.
Yeah.
The rule that we use for the drivers, it has to be within one bus length of the bus stop. And if that means you're gonna be able to stand on concrete instead of the grass, then we did do that. And then when we get back,
It's a little further than the bus.
well, if it's 20 feet, it's not. If it's 40 feet, it is. So if it's more than 35 feet, then I would stand at the bus stop sign and we'll see about getting that sign moved. If there's anything else on that pole, we're probably not gonna be able to move it.
Yeah, just what the speed limit?
If it's,
Speed limit is what's on the.
yeah, we're probably not gonna be able to get that moved.
That's on it now.
We'll talk to the city about that.
Yeah.
But we ask that you stand near the bus stop. We ask that you have your fare and pass ready and have your ID ready if you're using an elderly and disabled pass. That will help our drivers. We have a lot of new drivers. Just so you know, out of 50 drivers, 26 of them that are currently employed with us have been hired in the last 5.5 years. So we've had significant turnover. And then we ask that you be at the stop 8 to 10 minutes early. I know it seems really early. Now, I will go ahead and tell you, because we're going to cover this in just a little bit, the new app that's coming, which is going to be just a little bit, bear with us, it's still going to be, I pushed the group this morning on my call in like 2 weeks, right? After we go live, 2 weeks, you have that up and running. They're like,
Maybe.
we're going to try. So anyway, what we've seen in testing, I don't even have access to the map right now or the app for testing, but what we are seeing on that system is it is doing a very good job of estimating when the bus is going to be there. So
The annunciators are doing well once you get some of the bugs like that.
right. Well, and that's so what we've been telling people is you gotta apply grace, because him and I've been saying that, Dewey, you gotta give grace. Those enunciators, they should not even be working as well as they are right now. What happened was the drivers got a taste of them on the line 3 and the line 7, and they really liked them. And so our supervisors passed the word along to Andy, who's managing the project for us. And they worked together as a group to backdate everything that they had done for the new system to a couple weeks ago. And then they designed the current routes into the current system as a detour against the new system.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
They did, and that took a lot of effort.
Yeah.
But they did it because, one, we wanted to get the announcements out there. And it gave our supervisors a chance to test the system. And it gave our bus operators a chance to start getting used to logging into the new tablets. And so it's worked out well. And we've been getting a lot of great feedback. We understand some of the buses are loud, some of them are soft. We're going to track down if that's the bus or if it's the route or stops or a combination of the two. So we got a lot of things to figure out, but be patient with us and we'll do that. But the new app should, I'm going to cover that in just a second. You're going to like it. Boarding the bus, wait for passengers to get off the bus. The driver will motion you on or verbally tell you that it's time to get on. And then, we just ask that you find a seat. If you're willing and able, we ask that you move as far back of the bus as you can. Riding the bus, using the fare box. You insert the pass up the top. You can tap the smart card in the bottom left-hand corner of it. You can show the driver an activated pass. Or, and then you can take a transfer vote if you need it to pop out of the fare box. The bottom picture is Sean DeLuey. He is our most senior driver. Actually, he is our most senior City Utilities employee with over close to 38, maybe 39 years of service. Wow. Yeah, I think he's probably got his, I think he's probably thinking about his future at this point, like maybe Tom, I don't know. Not for me to say just yet. So transfers, they'll be 25 cents. You purchase it when you board the bus, you take it from the fare box. It's good for 1 hour and you present it to the fare box on the next bus. And if you need to take 2 different buses, if you need to transfer twice, you get that second transfer when you board that second bus. And then it should be good for the next bus. Exiting the bus. Everybody in here knows to pull the yellow cable that's hanging on the side of the bus, right?
Yell at the driver, because the driver's human, so.
Yeah, please don't yell at the driver. Because,
Sometimes you do, because they've almost skipped it a few times.
yeah, and if you have to, I mean, hey, driver, yeah, but I mean, in terms of yelling at the driver, like,
Never yell.
yeah, well, we don't, I don't. Look,
I'll let
if
you
you get mad at the driver and yell at them because you're mad, then I'm gonna get yelled at, you're gonna wanna yell at me, they're gonna wanna yell at me, and let's just, hey, driver, can I get this stop? Oh, yeah, sorry about that.
I hope 212 and 213 are due for replacement, because their stop request all are about done.
They have, so our drivers hope so too. We're probably a year and a half out on that.
That's when we might yell at them for, unfortunately, it doesn't work very well.
Yeah. Well, and the new announcement, the new stop request doesn't say stop request with the announcement either. So it doesn't make the announcement as well. We're working on that, but it's just not configured that way.
Is it still gonna be? You don't have that on there. Between that and the sound that it makes when the driver's getting too close to the vehicle in front of it?
It should, but the drivers are, let me say, the drivers are professional bus operators, and they should have that one figured out by now. Because it took me one trip driving a bus, pulling over 3 times in a row going, who's pulling the thing? And somebody goes, no, you listen for the voice, and you should have some signal up there, and there's, yeah, the voice sounds like yours. Yeah, I'm like, that's really great advice. So I started looking, they've got a visual display up in front of them. It should let them know that they're following too close. If it's not that, they've got a different visual display that says stop requested. And it's an amber light that they see, so. But with every stop should be announced going forward unless they're too close together. We're working on some of those areas, and it'll take us a little bit to figure some of those out, although we do have the closest 2 stops on the system already configured. But it should announce every stop, so you should know, once you ride enough, you should know at this stop, you hear this one, the next stop's gonna be yours. You're gonna wanna pull the cord when you're hearing the previous stop. All right. And then also do not cross in front of the bus. I could show you a video, but I mean, oh, it's horrible. Don't cross in front of the bus. Enough said, right?
And national. Stop.
Okay, yeah, well, not that video. Okay, so Token Transit, it's our mobile ticketing app. We are looking at replacing our fare boxes in the spring, but we will still use Token Transit. You can download that from the Play Store or Apple Store, and you just search Token Transit. You have to create an account. You'll have to attach a credit card or something with it. And you can purchase your fare. You activate the current pass as the bus approaches. When you see the bus approach, you activate the pass. The driver is looking for basically the clock to be moving on the paths that you're showing. And there's just a quick graphic of that. It goes
What other benefit if you use your transfer bid for 90 minutes?
Well, yeah, it is. I think your other transfers are too. We're just trying not to. We're trying to avoid some fights. So there we go. So the new app is going to be called My Ride SGF. It is not available yet. So it is coming soon. But this should, I'm told, I've not seen this in action yet. I'm told that it will have ride planning, similar to what our web portal will look like. So these two slides are very similar. You would also download it from the Play Store or App Store, and you'll be searching for My Ride SGF. You should be able to see the bus location in real time, subscribe to bus stop information, and plan your bus trip. So let me talk just a little bit about the web portal and the app, the way we're told they're going to work. And I've seen this in the web portal, but I haven't seen it in the app yet. Let's say you want to subscribe to the stop that's right out here on Nettleton, right? And you want to say, I want to know, I'm told you can go into there, create an account, favorite this stop, and then today you can go in and say, I want to know when the bus is estimated to be there within 15 minutes and send you an alert, either a text or an email. And then you would know, hey, my bus is going to be here in 15 minutes. Let's wrap this up. I got to go and be at the bus stop. So it's supposed to work that way. And I'm counting on it to work that way. We're planning on it to work that way. So that's a great advancement.
It's gotta be better than Route Shop.
Well, but remember how much we loved Route Shop because we were getting any information too. I mean, I want to.
You told us how the IT guys wanted to kill you, so.
They did, yeah. The route match people didn't like me and our IT people didn't like me, but I was the person standing in the gap. So
When will the My Ride be?
that's the push for 2 weeks.
2 weeks, okay.
That's the push for 2 weeks. Don't think it's gonna happen, but that's what I'm pushing. All right. And I will note that beginning Monday, more of this information should come to the front of the cutransit.net website as it comes up. So we're telling people go to cutransit.net, just check it out early, check it out often. Picture coming soon. Web portal, very much the same thing, but I do have pictures of this. So one of the things that's going to happen on the web portal version of this map, that the ABL tracker, is you'll be able to turn on and off routes like you currently can, but also it's going to favor inbound or outbound trips. So you'll be turning on inbound, outbound trips. It will automatically turn those on if you're using the route planning function until you catch the inbound line 9 to the transit center and catch the outbound line 2 if you're going to the Northtown Mall, Walmart, as the people that have been around here forever call it. It'll automatically turn those on and off. Also, you'll see little dots along the route, and those are all the bus stops, and you can see the buses moving on those routes. When you go to the planner, you'll click, you'll get options on what your trips may look like. You click on one of those, it's going to slide you down the page to show you the map of that. And it's also going to tell you how far you have to walk, what bus you get on, how long that bus ride is going to be. You go to the transit center, how long you're going to be at the transit center, which bus you're going to get on, how long you're going to be on that bus, and then what your walk is when you get to your destination. Currently, we have a little problem with that, but by 5 o'clock tonight, we think we're going to have that resolved. Every trip is showing that you're going to be at the transit center half an hour because it's just thinking that you can't get off this bus and get on the next bus. It thinks you have to wait for the next bus. So we should have that. I hopped on a call with our project team today and told the people like this isn't good. They're like, oh, it's not good. You're right, Matt. So they had it resolved they had the answer within 30 minutes, but it's going to take about 3 hours to resolve. Not 3 hours we had planned Okay, so just a few other things about us. We have 2 electric buses. Those are 2 35-foot electric buses. They are expected to run 12 plus hours a day. They're expected to, why did I put 150 miles or 50 miles? Right now, we can get to about 140 miles on them. But they take 7 hours to charge, and we're charging both of them at one time, 3.5 hours, we're just charging one. They have 6 batteries on them. There's 2 in the belly, 2 on the top, and 2 in the back. So those are, people think they're top heavy. They're actually very fun to drive and very stable. So they're very expensive too. The total cost of the project was total all in, including those updates we had to make to the barn, was about $2 million. And through 2 competitive grants, we had all but about $6,000 for that covered.
You guys thought about picking up some hybrids for the replacements for 212 and 230?
We're gonna see what's available in the market when we get there. So since we developed our plan, there's been one agency drop out altogether. Production USA, Made in the USA approved, has dropped out, and then the BYD is gone. Proterra, BYD are no longer eligible. There's a third one that was out, or another one that was out there that's no longer eligible. We only have 2 bus manufacturers. So when we go to market, it'll be determined on what they have available. Right now, we're gonna buy diesel if we can, because of the cost.
Well, I thought you guys was really trying to push for more environment friendly with the all electric buses where you want more life out of them. You guys have seemed to have your quirks with them. So you said something about hybrid maybe.
Yeah, we're gonna look at hybrid. But right now, the bid we have out to replace 212 and 213, or the rec we have out for that, is diesel because of the cost. And we're not ready to go hybrid on the buses yet.
The only reason I said hybrid, there's a diesel engine, so if the batteries do die, it'll get you your
Right.
12 hours a day,
Right.
and then
But right now we have diesel on order, and that's what we're gonna go with. Right now, they don't make, so what we're really going for is we need 2 more 30-footers to last us the next 12 to 13 years, 14 years, once we get them in, based on the system design we have now. So we need 2, when all our current 30-footers are retired, we need 2. One of those points is so that we can have our drivers testing in a 30-foot vehicle. The other one is there's 2 maneuvers we can't make on the system on a 35-footer, so we need 30-footers on those areas. The other thing is they don't manufacture hybrid or electric buses that are 30-footers.
Oh.
So there you go. We just have limits, and we have things we need to meet now and for the foreseeable future. We are seeing some diesel and oil savings, and there are preventive maintenance savings on those vehicles right now. But right now, we're seeing about 36,000 gallons a year on savings between the 2 for diesel. So some ADA compliance things. All of our fixed route buses, actually all of our buses, are low floor buses. They have wheelchair securements, and they have folding seats to have access to those wheelchair securements. Also, the buses all kneel. They drop about 6 to 8 inches. So that it's an easier step up from the ground level, and they all have ramps, and those ramps fold out when the ground is level. The ramps fold out to an ADA approved incline. Sometimes we can't get position in a place to have the ramps at the right angle, but that's also allowable. And then on the bus, we have those automated announcements. We have that heads-up LED display. So that you can hear and see what's coming up on those stops. And we found that the LED display is really been beneficial for people who are liking to use headphones and not pay attention to what's going on. They see that orange light go off in the corner of their eyes, they look up, see what's going on.
Or for deaf people.
It also works for that. That's not usually who catches it. That community is most typically engaged in where they are, looking around. Then also, I like to point out that we have posted the civil rights rules that we're required to post, but they're up on the bus. And if you have any questions about it, you can go on our website and issue contact us and we'll respond to that. It also has my direct contact information on those sheets now, so you can see my name on the bus if you want to go do that. Also, we're working on getting these devices. We've had buses out here at least a couple times to demonstrate the Quantum and its new wheelchair restraint that allows autonomous use of the wheelchair restraint system. I think we've got a video that's going to show this. Basically, the passenger can hit a button that's on the folded seat right next to him. And what happens is one arm swings out from behind him, swings down by the wheel or the device, squeezes, applies about 5 pounds of pressure to make sure it's got a good grip, and then squeezes another 10 pounds of pressure for a total of 15 pounds of pressure. And then when it's time to leave, when they've identified it's time to go and they hit the button saying, hey, we want off the bus, next stop, the driver turns the power back onto the thing, and then the passenger can hit the button, then it moves the device.
Are they still facing backward?
They are facing backwards. That's why we can only use one. Because civil rights says you have the right to face the same direction as anybody else on the bus. And since there are no rear facing passenger seats otherwise, we cannot require that wheelchairs have to face
So if you do decide to install them all on the buses, it's only gonna be one side of the bus.
only one side. And we do currently have enough for all of our 35 footers and one for a 30-foot. We're going to test install one of those on a 30-foot, trusting that the installers and our mechanics, who are very good, I'm going to say are very good. We think we can create enough space to allow an install on a 30-footer. If we can get the space we need, we're going to do a full install. We'll be the first agency with 30-footers doing a full install on a fixed route fleet. But we have all of them in stock for the big buses, the long buses. So what's going on right now? We're in the middle of route alignment, reduced fare and updated technology. We've been talking a lot about that. We're going to continue updating technology. The next thing is we're by October 28th, I think it is, October 29th, we're planning on having the paratransit system fully converted over to the Trip Spark product. And we see some advancements coming there, which would allow passengers on that system to be able to create an account and schedule their own rides. So it won't be like 5 o'clock tonight, you schedule your ride and boom, it's there tomorrow. It will have to go through an approval process. So if you're going to schedule your ride, there may be a little extra time that you have to give us to do that. Like it'd have to be scheduled by 3 o'clock today, so we have time till about 5 o'clock this evening to make sure it all fits into the system. But more information to come, because that should allow you you or any user some autonomy in scheduling your rides, which would be good. That doesn't mean that there won't still be some denials. That's bound to happen, but
Do you have a
pretty good.
slide about that, or would you have a minute just to briefly go over paratransit,
I
or?
can try or answer any questions. So,
Okay.
what specifically would you like me to cover?
Well, just what it is, if there was someone that was not familiar, and then just the requirements when you do apply, and maybe the
Okay.
expectation.
So
that-
if Brandy was here, she would tell you, so I mentioned that it's a complimentary service. If Brandy was here, she would use the phrase, it's a safety net. The idea is if you can't use the fixed route system, that's public transportation. We encourage you to use the fixed route system if you can. If for some reason you cannot access the stops near your home or your work or wherever your trip origination or trip destination, and you need basically curb to curb service, you can apply for the system with a medical professional's approval and it's not a diagnosis, but they're
medical information that
Yeah.
would support your request.
That would also mean you don't go to your rehab services for the blind council, your, voc rehab council, we're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, the counselors can't do that. It has to be a medical professional. And we're gonna tighten up on some of that as well. But if you can't access the fixed route system, you would then be eligible. Your trips have to be within that 3/4 mile buffer of the fixed route system or within the city limits. We provide a greater area coverage than is required by law, because we're community utility, and we want it available for everybody in the city.
Matt,
Yes,
all right, keep being told that young people's being kicked off off paratransit.
we keep getting told what?
That blind people are being kicked off paratransit.
We're not kicking people off paratransit. I don't know where you're getting that, but we're not kicking people off of the paratransit system. Now, we do have we have every 3 years, your eligibility is only good for 3 years.
Yeah.
And you have to reapply for that. We've had some people not reapply, but I don't know I have not been told that we have not awarded eligibility to somebody now that didn't already have it. Definitely not a blind person. We have had some people that had temporary eligibility that somehow got to use the system for a few years. And you're not in that boot that you had after you sprained your ankle.
Yeah.
So,
Can I say something?
sir,
We do have a problem with, first of all, I got denied when I first came here, went through all that. There's another blind guy, I'm not gonna mention his name, but he's totally blind and has gout. He keeps applying, you guys keep telling him, you're not disabled enough. The man's totally blind. So there is being blind people denied for the service. And he's applied several times. He's gonna go, you're not disabled enough. Yeah, right.
we have an appeal process.
Where's that in?
Yeah.
I said, they denied me when I came here. They said I can take the regular bus. So.
So there's an appeal, Dewey, I'm gonna give you my super easy answer. There's an appeals process, and I have not seen that appeal come through. I would have that person hit the website and say, I want to appeal my denial. And then I'll address it.
I said it, yeah, but we did.
I'm not familiar with what you're describing to me is not familiar.
Well, and just not to put you in a bad position, because I know Brandy's not here, we could have a separate session on Access Express, but Empower Abilities can help advocate for you or can help you fill out an application or help you understand the rules. And, we can always connect you with CU2. And we also want to help people learn how to ride the bus. So if someone is getting denied, we're really trying to educate our staff more so that we can actually go out there with you and show you how to do it. So just to offer that resource that we're here to support more people riding the actual public routes.
He was running the transit master building, but what happened with that? Telegraph. It was running at one time where they would go out, depending on the circumstance, and start at someone's home or the closest bus stop to their home, and they start there to teach them how to get on a bus, get to the terminal, buy a bus pass, and get to their final destination once or twice.
So we technically still have that program, but a few things in the last few years, and this is gonna sound like an excuse, and I do truly see it as a reason. In the last few years, there have been a few things that we have not been able to focus on because we focused on continuing to provide public transportation. So some of the things that would seem more administrative, such as ambassadors, we've not been able to stay on top of nearly so well. I do have it on my 2025 list to start reviewing some of these administrative functions that have kind of gone by the wayside. But if somebody calls and needs help learning how to ride, we will send one of our bus supervisors out to assist with that.
Thank you.
And then in kind of Dewey, to the point, we have had one of our employees go do some ride-alongs with people who are applying for Access Express or who have been denied, and just to verify some of the situations and review that. So we do utilize the the review process. So as far as the presentation goes, that's what we've got. Then the next thing is open for questions about,
Maybe Matt, like I said, I know it's probably about a year off, but when the new fare boxes come, can there be a demonstration
absolutely,
happening?
yes, there will be, there absolutely will be.
Because when we got these last fare boxes, there was no demonstration, the people were just furious.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
It
Well,
wasn't great.
so that, yes, there will be a demo of the new fare boxes when we get them, but it will, you're right, it will take a while to get that done.
You're saying hopefully we can do reloads and all this other great stuff.
I'm gonna use a phrase I've been using today, and I'm careful with using the phrase. We plan on.
I've been using token.
We're planning about redoing your team.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is our plan to use, it's called account-based, fare, so we're working on it.
The other thing I noticed today, just at the terminal, somebody was trying to use, I guess they got this card from BioLife and tried to use it in the ticket vending machine to buy a pass. Are those machines designed to take those, yes or no, or?
There are some things like that, similar to gift cards.
I told them, I said, I know you guys don't like to take the like Visa gift cards and stuff because it's issues and.
We don't make a choice on that, okay? So, there was new federal regulation earlier this year, so I know you know that the credit cards just didn't work on the ticket vending because of the chips. And, we are at the mercy of the vendor of the hardware, and our hardware vendor does not like gift card chips. Can't do anything about it.
So if I walk up on somebody and say, you need help, and they say, I have that, I say, just send them to the window and you guys will take care of them there.
Yeah, as long as it's between 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, yeah.
That's what I did today. I'm like,
Yeah.
those machines, I don't think take those. If it's like one of those gift cards or buying, I don't think they take them. You might want to go to the window.
Yeah, I appreciate that, because, yeah, it's a sore point, but it's just the way it is. Gift cards don't work in those things very well.
The other thing I've noticed too, and maybe people need to be reminded that if you send, say, your wife or your other spouse down and you have someone else's card and it doesn't have your name on it, you guys may not take it for payment.
That's true. We don't, but we've got glass between us and you, so we don't really watch we can't watch what that card says. In most cards, when you're using it, you can't see the name on the card anymore. It's just printed on the back.
Yes.
And we do not hold our,
Well, in the old days you did, I guess now you're not as strict, but in the old days that was going on a lot.
it
A lot of
was,
people were complaining.
but we can't do that. We just can't do that.
Will the Google Maps feed of the routes be updated with the new information?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Afton. So we have provided the Google feed already. It is sitting out there. So as of Sunday, it should switch over to the new routes. It's one of two things are going to happen. Actually, one of three things are going to happen. The old routes are going to still be there. Nothing will be there, or the new routes will be there, right? But so looking at the test website, the trip planner that we're working on uses the Google feed. So Andy and I sat down the other day, and he was testing a route from his house to the office, and it looked really good. And then I sat down and I use a route on all my testing. I use a route from my mother-in-law's house up to Walmart, the Northtown Walmart. That's when we noticed there's a 30-minute wait at the transit center. But we set the date in the trip planner. Please hear this. We set the date to Monday, and the feed was out there. We had published the feed. We weren't expecting it to work, but as soon as we got access to the trip planner website, it was working for us. So,
Well, that's good.
so Google Feed, you can go into Google Maps, and you can, like in the city of Springfield, you could do a destination from Empower Abilities to the Battlefield Mall. Now, if I were doing this, I'd probably take the, 36 to the Mercy to the 31 and go to the Battlefield Mall today. That's what I would do. Actually, on Monday, I would take the 36 all the way around the Battlefield Mall and stay on it. So, but on the Google feed, you say, I want to start here and go there. You, instead of having, you can do walking, you can do driving, you can do transit. You see the bus. That's the key you're looking for. And so it will do a nice job of that. What I'm going to encourage you, and I know I'm setting you up to start using that on Monday, but when you see a new planner on our website, I highly recommend the new planner because those pictures I showed you of that website are going to be really good. You'll be able to set those reminders, set those text or emails about when the bus is going to arrive.
You got, and Matt, you have those two bus stops at Walmart and currently going, so one on the street and one in the parking lot. Is the one on the street gonna stay from the 38 or is that one gonna be removed? 'Cause I haven't seen the sign on it saying it's gonna be removed yet.
No, it's going to be the 38. We're actually,
The 38 will not pull into Walmart.
it will not pull the Walmart. But part of the reason for that is the 38 is going to interact with the line 2 at Walmart, but it's also going to interact with the line 2 at Boonville and Division. It's going to interact with the line 3. It's going to out there on Division east of Glenstone. It's going to interact with the line 14 over here at Grant, and it's going to interact with.
Well, I've had a few
both.
passengers asking me, because they know I'm on the committee, I'm like, I think the plan with that is, because there's so many other places that'll interact, is not bring it into the parking lot with everything else that's going on in here and just leave it on the street and let it do its thing.
The 38 is the longest route we have. It's over 20, I think it's 22 miles long. It has 8 railroad crossings on it. And it spans all the way out from the Partnership Industrial Center east to Division and West Bypass, or Nichols and West Bypass. It is a long route. And we've challenged the driver that signed it to keep it on time. Actually, there's 2 drivers that have signed it. Like, we've actually challenged one, like, hey, you're newer than that guy. Let's see if you can keep it on time better than the veteran.
You put Andy out there, I guarantee it'll be on time.
Andy did not sign that one. I think, actually, I can't, off the top of my head, I can't recall who did, but. Anyway, are there any specific routes somebody wants to review or talk about?
Yeah, do we know where the 36 stop is gonna be up here yet? No, keep asking.
Yeah, it should be actually signed out there, but, give me just a second. It's,
Do you want me to pull something up on the back?
if you want to pull up cutransit.net, we'll give our website a little workout.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna tell you it will not exist as soon as the planner gets pulled up.
Well, if the sign get put up, yeah.
Yeah, the sign is supposed to be up. City has told us all the signs are up, so it doesn't necessarily mean that the sticker is gonna be up there yet on it. Those are weird. Kind of like the people I work with, they see me show up and they go running. All right, let's hit learn more right here on Right SGF. And then scroll down. Keep scrolling. Okay, right here, let's hit bus stops. So we have each one of the routes has its route card, and then to the right, it has something that says bus stops. We created this in response to some of the things that we're hearing from the city, or from people in the community. So yeah, look at you go. Killing it over there. I feel like Vanna all of a sudden. Thank you for laughing. Okay, so here's Campbell. So here's Fort. Here's Expressway. So Fort to the east on the north side of the road, it looks like it's, I don't see what the.
This is one we built before, we kept trying to go forward.
Well, we don't have we just have the street view. We don't have the, is that civic room? You all are sitting about right here, right? Oh, yeah, there we go. In the parking lot, right? It's across the entrance to the cash tank saver over here. It's just on the other side of the parking lot entrance, to the west. On the north side of the street.
Well, now it's Napa Auto Parts, basically cash.
That's right. My apologies.
Also, that's east of the seven group,
It's east of what?
the seven group.
No, it should be west of the Seven Brew. Because the Seven Brew is right here, right? It should be,
Okay, so the other side of Neville.
yes,
But down by Hardin.
Yeah.
past Hardee's. It should be on the other side of the parking lot entrance, other side of the, street. Street line,
About the bus stop opposite our
No, for line 30.
line 36.
I have a question on Google Maps. And I would
Sure.
do it. So say you are going to walk and ride, does it tell you how long it would take to get to a transfer stop?
Google Maps does, and then the new planning map will as well. And that's why I will tell you, I prefer the new planning app for that, because you will be able to create an account and favorite stops.
And one more question.
Yeah,
Have you confirmed that, when the bus stop is going to have the audio, that verbalizes the head sign? But I can't read the head sign.
you mean the external announcement of what bus just arrived, what line number?
Yeah, the verbalizes the head sign.
We have not confirmed when that is going to come. We do know it is we know it's in the pipeline with Trip Spark. So the drivers are being reminded to open the door, make those announcements. There are fewer interactions between routes anymore, that would require that so much. Like the line 38 east of Glenstone and the line 30, and the line 3 east of Glenstone. As they both enter that section, that's when the driver needs to start making those announcements, or would be required when they pull up to a stop, open the door and say, I'm the line 3 or I'm the line 38.
Yeah, but sometimes you can't hear it, they're behind the glass. You have to walk,
Yeah,
keep your head in
yeah.
the bus, and it'd be nice if you could hear.
I understand. We're working on that. We're just making sure that we're reminding them of their responsibility for that as well. Also, I want to draw attention to one of the things that I've been pushing for a while, and we were able to actually accomplish. So with the new routes, there were 2 buses down at the transit center that did not have 30-minute service. One of those is the line 3, and one of those is the line 9. And I've been telling people for years, and people are like, why don't you have this here? Why don't you have this here? Well, we don't have the budget to add those things. Oh, you're the utility. Yeah, we're also trying to replace 100-year-old water lines, 100-year-old gas lines. Anytime we have a tornado come through or high winds, we're having to, I mean, everybody wants a piece of that pie, and we're good at being subsidized. And so it's hard to just move things. So we did the study to help us identify where are we underutilizing our hours and where do we need to add service. And the number one goal was to continue to serve the community that was already using transit. And we've tried to maintain the integrity of that system. But it comes at a little bit of a cost. And so the greater good for the community, yes. But does it hurt some people individually, very personally? Absolutely. And I'm sorry. That's just part of what happens. Those are the hard decisions that have to be made. But in the process, one of the things we were wanting to do is make sure that everything that went to the transit center got 30-minute service. Line 3 gets 30-minute service. Line 9 gets 30-minute service. This building is the reason why I was pushing hard. Its location and the community that we serve around here. According to the maps that we use, this is a community we need to serve better, and I think that we're gonna be doing that. Now we just need, I'm just gonna give you a plea, we need the ridership to show up, and we need it to show up quick. Because in a couple years, if we have the same ridership in a couple years that we have today, it will demonstrate that we made a decision that we didn't need to make. So we're hoping that the ridership really starts to increase out here. The other thing that it does is that it gets us to the Veterans Hospital, which has been something that we actually made a promise 8 years ago to get there when they opened up. Once Kansas Expressway opened up, once they opened up Kansas Expressway, they decided not to let us on their property, but they still wanted us there. So we had to get the bus turned around to get to the right side of the street. So what's happening out here is one of those things that allow us to serve and make good on the promise that we made 8 years ago. And that's just been something that's been sitting on my desk. And I get calls every 3 months on why don't we care about the veterans? Well, I get calls like that about a lot of things, but I think we're doing a good job of trying to serve the community at large. So 2 big pickups from this are that we picked up the line 3 every 30 minutes, picked up the line 9 every 30 minutes. There are a few losses, an hour at night, 2 hours earlier on the 38 and the 36. And then Sunday, we're moving to 8 to 5. We are going to cancel service altogether on Christmas and Thanksgiving. That one's specific for our employee base. It's been hard to hire people for the last 7 or 8 years. And one of the reasons is I'm telling every driver when they come in, you're going to have to plan on working every Sunday. You're going to have to plan on working every holiday. And many people are like out. So work-life balance is important to bus operators too. And so that's one pickup for them specifically.
I think open increase, Thanksgiving, Christmas, not much open increase.
Yeah.
No, but they're really great community dinners that serve the community that we serve a lot as well. And so that was a difficult decision, but it's honestly in order to preserve an easier to serve labor force, or a community to serve easier with the labor force that we have, being able to hire people is important. So any questions about new routes?
Yeah, actually, so where the 36 stop is, so if you take a 9 from downtown, you want to catch 36. So I guess if you have to walk from over to Fort to up there, because so the 9's not going to stop at that 36 stop, is it? Because you got to make that left.
It's going to be less than a block away.
So is the 9 still going to stop at there by the Hardee's?
No.
You got to make that left turn. Right?
No, it won't, because it's got to make a left turn.
So people are going to walk from here way over there.
Yes. That's one of the things that I learned early on. I have to be okay with people walking.
I don't know if there's put it on battlefield.
No.
But I'm behind here.
No, I don't think so. It's not going to be there. We just won't be able to do that and get all the way to the left turn lane. Dave?
Yeah, that's one of my concerns. Like you said, there are going to be pros and cons. Like I talked to you earlier this week. One thing I had not mentioned, I thought I was just maybe getting tired, but I think overall, over the last few months, I have had a lot more tripping, no matter whether I'm walking or mildly jogging or slowly running. I am, whether I'm crossing the street or basically walking, I'm tripping very easily if I walk even a small distance. And just this week alone, even at work, thank God work is insured. But I mean, I fell down because I have cerebral palsy in my right side. My right foot tripped over my left foot, my good foot, and I fell down right in front of the cash register area where I was doing some work and doing some helping a customer on the floor. Luckily, the floor had if I have to walk 3-4 blocks on a daily basis to my bus stop, and then you're saying, well, the society stops at 7 o'clock and nobody shops at the mall or goes to the mall after 7 o'clock. I mean, so I cannot get to the bus unless I walk to National and Battlefield instead of right there on Glenstone. I mean, I don't understand how it's economically justifiable to stop bus service before you said that this place is critical. Well, the mall where tons of businesses, not just the mall, but around, and I can't get I can't get home after 7 o'clock, or unless I'm walking 4.5 blocks. I think you explained it 2 or 3 times about a convenience. Well, if it doesn't come out, you can do something that convenience. A year ago, I applied when my physical therapist went to a place that the bus didn't go at all, and you guys gave me Access Express, but only during inclement weather months. Well, I mean, I'm now going to need Access Express more than ever because I am trying. It's where I am tripping. I might have to go myself back to my doctor and get reevaluated because it's getting detrimental where you said, well, can you walk more than 50 or 100 feet without tripping or without danger? No.
Well,
I'm getting
so
worse.
to that point, that's why that service exists.
So
So apply for Access Express.
I do, but
Okay.
right now it's only inclement weather. I mean, do I have to need?
So we're gonna read.
You'll just need to reapply.
We do have applications.
Yeah, absolutely. And people's situations change. Our system changes, but people's situations changes. Their health changes. That's why this system exists, is for those situations. But we chase the numbers. Okay, when we did the study, we chased the numbers. And David, one thing I don't think I've ever said, and I apologize if I have, I don't think I've ever said, oh yeah, this is absolutely convenient. One of the things that made me so mad when I first got this job was somebody saying that transit was downright inconvenient at its best and absolutely inaccessible at its worst. Made me so mad because it's not truly accurate, but from his perspective, it was. And so I've had to look at that. We make the best decisions we can, but like I've said, it's for the community in general. It really impacts some people very personally.
What's the reason for stopping bus service at the mall at 7 o'clock?
We're still, okay, so let me be clear. We're running that line 5 by the mall till 9 o'clock. That last trip leaves the transit center at 9. So we're serving the mall until 10 o'clock.
Well, you told me the other day, you said at 7 and then
I told you about the line 36. We were talking about line 36. Okay. So about how, if you need to make that, if you want to walk over to the line 12, then it's serving until that 9 o'clock trip as well. So it's out there till 10.
Okay, that's a little bit better.
Yeah.
We just want to thank Matt for coming and sharing all of this information. It's been really great. And we do have maps that he brought. And then we have a guide to riding the bus that Cox College students created. And then we also do have some Access Express applications. If you wanted to stay after, Afton and I could definitely talk with you a little more and walk out to the bus stop just to get comfortable. I don't know if anybody has never ridden a bus. But again, thank you. And I really appreciate City Utilities continuously being, available to come and talk to us. Like I said, we're trying to get our staff more, familiar with riding the bus so that we can help you all too. So definitely reach out and we might actually have someone that could ride the bus with you if you would like that. So anyway, thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Questions on Zoom, so I'm gonna shut it down. We did record it, so if anybody needed, to refer back to anything, we can definitely look back and get the information. So I'm gonna close out. Thank you guys for attending.
Thank you.
Dewey?